Previously on Let's Play Steins Gate 0.
One of the soldiers turned their gun on the fleeing rounder. One of them.
Now, back to everyone being sad.
Hello, everybody. Pokey here, with another episode of Steins Gate 0 at last. I'm so sorry about that long hiatus. I got really busy. I don't want to go into a whole thing about it. Point is, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to be as regular as I once was. Might be difficult, but I'll be trying to get my schedule back on track. So anyway, I'm not gonna go over what happened last time because, as I said, I want to get straight into it. Phew. Maho was sinking into a warm bathtub. She could finally feel blood flowing through her body again. The heat melted the tension away from her muscles. Her injured hand hurt a little, but it wasn't unbearable. She felt like she'd come back to life. Once the sun had set, Maho and Rintaro had gone to Faris, the cat-eared maid at May Queen Yan Squared, for help. Faris's home was at the top of a high-rise condo building on prime Akihabara real estate. From a security perspective, it was superior to the future gadget lab in every way imaginable. I'm glad they're somewhere safe. Faris welcomed the two of them, offering them food and a place to sleep. And now she'd even offered them a bath. Maho was a little worried about Itaru Ishida. He'd insisted on staying to wait for his younger sister Suzuha and remained alone at Future Gadget Lab. More than an hour had passed since then. Had Rintaro heard anything? And even if they'd moved, that didn't mean this place was safe. The group from this afternoon could attack at any time. She couldn't help but feel nervous. That made her feel terrified and vulnerable as she sat naked in the bath. She got out of the bathtub and hurried to the changing room to wipe herself down. She tried to put on the change of underwear Faris had given her. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And her hands started to shake. Okay, please don't make this moment of PTSD a sexy moment. Pretty please? I mean, it might be too late to ask for that, but whatever. Then her knees buckled and she fell to the ground. This is extreme muscle relaxation, after a period of elevated tension and then sudden release. Huh. I like that she took a scientific approach to her nervousness. She tried to stay calm by analyzing herself, but that didn't mean she could do anything but lie down. This is bad. Alarm bells were going off in her head. She'd just about given up, knowing that it would pass with time, when Faris popped her head in. Maho-nyan, how's the water? Meow? Faris screamed and started to panic when she saw Maho naked and lying on the floor. Oh no, Nya! She's going to die! Maho-nyan's going to die! No, it's fine. Maho's voice was so weak that Faris didn't even hear her. I need to get her to the bed. Faris tried to pick up the naked Maho and then slipped and dropped her. Ouch! Oh yeah! Maho hit the back of her head on the floor. Things are just not going great for Maho today, are they? She saw little stars dancing across her field of vision. I said vision instead of vision. Anya, I'm so sorry. Sprawling naked on the floor, face up, Maho tried to force herself to stand, but her arms were too weak. Listen, this will pass soon. But Faris wasn't listening. For some reason, she decided to reach around Maho from behind and try to drag her up. And then Rintaro must have heard Faris' scream because he ran in. Yeah, okay, whatever. What's wrong, Furice? Eat? Yeah? She wanted to scream, but all that came out was a tiny whimper. Ah. Ah. This is really the time for the silly music. Whatever. I do like it, though. I'm really sorry. I mean it. Rintaro lowered his head deeply toward Maho as she lay on the bed. You don't need to apologize. It was an accident. It's just flashing back to what literally just happened. But she still couldn't bear to look him in the face. Just remembering the despair and embarrassment she'd felt when she saw her naked body made her want to bury her head in a pillow and flail her legs back and forth. To make matters worse, she still hadn't been able to stand up after all that, and Rintaro had been forced to carry her to the bed. She'd never been touched by a boy before, and so it was only today that she realized how rugged male arms were. Being carried was extremely uncomfortable. Yeah, I think I can relate to this feeling of discomfort, considering I'm reading all of this. Whatever, she's the one who's being carried naked by someone. To the point where she'd squirmed around and almost slipped out of his arms. So she'd had no choice but to curl herself into a ball and let Rintaro do whatever he wanted with her, which made her feel really strange. Now she couldn't even bear to look at his face. Funya, it was my fault for panicking like that. Furice was sitting next to Rintaro, feet under her knees, with her shoulders slumped. No, it's fine. I'm sorry for scaring you, in fact. You're sure you're okay? You don't need to go to a hospital? All the tension caught up with me is all. I must have really worried you. I'm so embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Anybody would be scared after what happened today. Anyone would feel sick. Even you? Yeah. I see. Get some rest for now, Nya. You can think about what happened and what you're going to do next after you're feeling better. That's right. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Thank you. Maho closed her eyes. The lights went out, and Rintaro and Furice left the room. Whoa. She lay on the bed and tried not to think about anything. She could hear the pounding of her heart. That is really tense. That's a good sound effect. We might have heard it before in this game, but... Also, I figured out that there might have been audio problems with the previous episodes because I had the sound volume for the music and the sound effects pretty quiet. So that might be fixed. I hope so. It'd be weird if you couldn't hear this bottom. It would get louder and then softer. The rhythm was very strange. You could hear a kind of static noise mixed in with her heartbeat. Like a broken TV? Like, was it exhaustion-induced tinnitus? Whatever it was, once she noticed it, she couldn't sleep. It couldn't have anything to do with Dr. Leskinen, could it? Like, the thing that made her, like, that static in her brain with Dr. Leskinen telling her stuff, it couldn't have already happened, could it? I don't think so. Come to think of it, Okabe said he was taking some tranquilizers. She wasn't supposed to do this, but if she looked at their ingredients, she could tell what medications had what effect. Should she take a look and have him lend her some? If that wasn't possible, she could at least get some over-the-counter antihistamine to use as a sleep aid. I don't know what that is. She turned over. Hello? Oh my god. This game. Don't yell. Do what I tell you. Wait, is this gonna be Moeka? If I had to guess, I'd say this is probably, I'm gonna forget her name again. Dang it, Mayuri's daughter. Sorry, it's been a while since I played this game, so this time I have an excuse. Last time it did not have an excuse. It's, oh dang it, I had it and then it slipped out of my mind. Whatever. I don't know either way if it's Moeka or the other one. Don't yell. Do what I tell you. Otherwise, you're dead. Hmm? Suddenly, she heard a voice break through the unpleasant noise. She gulped and leapt out of bed. Terror-stricken, Maho tried to crawl to the door, but her legs wouldn't move like she wanted to. She couldn't stand up. The voice in her ears followed her wherever she went. Wait, is she... is this... a hallucination, or... It was like a wild animal toying with its prey. All the hairs on her body were standing up on end. Her jaw was chattering so hard she bit her tongue. She desperately crawled across the carpet and towards the door. Oh, it's sort of faded. Is there a thing already in her head? Yeah, I can see through her. See that? Wait, maybe it's a hallucination of Moeka. Do I have to kill one of you? Stop! No! No! Yeah, oh, that's an explosion of blood. No! Oh, it's all a dream? Hyajo, wake up! She woke up to find herself being violently shaken by the shoulders. She looked around the room, panting. She was in bed and Rintaro was looking down at her. Her whole body was sweaty and she felt sick. There was a burning sensation deep in her stomach. What's wrong? Someone's here. Rintaro looked around. Faris came a moment later, as well as typo, the older man who was her butler. But they were simply standing at the entrance of the room, concerned. I'm sure it was just a bad dream. That was scary. The antique clock on the shelf said that at some point it had gotten past 1 a.m. She must have slept for hours without realizing it. Yeah, you're right. I guess it was just a dream. Aww. She took a painful breath and wiped the sweat off her forehead without realizing that she sounded just like a little child. She sent Faris and the butler back to their rooms. Rintaro brought her a towel from the washroom. Ugh. You're really sweating. You should wipe yourself down. She did as he said and wiped the beads of sweat off her face, chest, and limbs. As she was deciding whether or not to wipe the inside of her pajamas, Rintaro took the hint and turned around. I'm going back to my room. Call me any time if you need something. How's Hishida? Oh, I just got word. He met up with Suzuha. I see. Good night. Rintaro was about to leave her bedside, but Maho, and she couldn't believe she was doing this, reached out and grabbed the hem of his shirt without thinking. Wait. But please, it doesn't have to be for long. Just stay here. Hyajo. Don't leave me alone. Aww. I kind of like the Maho Rintaro ship. I mean, obviously, Kurisu and Rintaro are always going to be the canon ship because they pretty much end up together by the end of Steins Gate. But in terms of this offshoot timeline, I guess I do like them together. I guess this is the kind of romance that I'm looking for, not the kind where Rintaro has to accidentally, like, carry Maho naked. I don't know. I kind of like getting emotional whiplash or whatever. Whatever. I guess that's just the way that games that are balance seriousness with humor sometimes are. Whatever. Let's just keep going. Oh, wait, did I read it? Maho was surprised by the words she was saying, but the thought of spending this terrible night all by herself was too much for her. Rintaro must have understood how she felt because he nodded without smiling. Fine, I'll stay with you till you fall asleep. Thanks, sorry for asking you to do this. No, it's fine. I had a hell of a time getting to sleep myself. I'll turn around, so at least wipe off the sweat. Okay. While Rintaro stared back at the door, she took off her pajamas and wiped off the thick layer of sweat that covered her whole body. She tried to put her pajamas on again, but they were too drenched for her to want to wear them. She had no choice but to dive back under the covers in nothing but her underwear and bring the comforter way above her chest. It's okay now. Amidst the dim glow of the nightlight, Rintaro brought a chair to the side of the bed and sat down. I'll be watching over you right here, so you don't need to worry about a thing. You know you'll be safe, right? You worried? No, I'm fine. Maho's face felt hot from some feeling that she didn't understand. She sank deeper under the blanket and turned away from Rintaro. She softly closed her eyes. She could feel his presence behind her. The two of them stopped talking, and the only noise was the distant sounds of night coming from beyond the curtain. How long did they spend like that? Just as she was about to fall into a light sleep, she heard a soft voice in her ears. Hyajo? You still awake? Huh? Yeah. She felt herself waking up again. She opened her eyes and turned back toward Rintaro, only to see him staring toward the window. It was as if he was trying to see some sight that lay beyond it. His profile is so handsome. For some reason, that was the thought that came to her. What's wrong? Rintaro seemed unwilling to talk, so Maho decided to speak first. He swallowed loudly. I really meant to tell you this a lot sooner, but I didn't have the courage. I'm sorry. Is he gonna tell her the rest of the story? Oh my goodness, that's gonna be so sad. But I'm so relieved if it's so. What are you talking about? There's one thing. One thing? One thing I haven't told you. Maho leaned forward, not caring that he might see her chest. I told you about the other world line and the Kurisu I met there, about the time machine and the time leaps. Yeah, about Kurisu and her dad. Yeah, there's actually one more thing I should have told you, but I just couldn't. His head was slumping forward in the chair. Maho waited silently for his next words. Despite the late hour, she heard a helicopter in the distance. For some reason, it sounded really loud. That's kind of ominous. She hadn't seen the news, but it was possible that the media was still talking about the gun battle that had taken place this afternoon. This was something I needed to tell you and you alone. When he finally spoke, his expression was unlike any look she'd ever seen on his face before. It was pained, sad, and suffering, like someone at the bottom of a deep, dark place. And yet there was something in his eyes that hinted at incredible self-hatred and rage. Wow, I like the switching perspectives. I'm like 99% sure you didn't switch perspectives in the first Steins Gate. But I like getting to see other perspectives and getting to hear from Rintaro when you're not him. Because, I mean, obviously in the previous game, his inner thoughts were mostly what was important. We were introduced to him as the Chuny, who's like crazy and delusional, but that's really a front. And now I like that they adapted the system, not only just to tell a greater story where you can see scenes that Rintaro doesn't necessarily know about, but now that Rintaro is more emotional and less sort of Chuny, he's more serious. We get to see his true self through someone else's eyes, and it's really interesting. I like it. This is a good game, however much it might make PTSD a sexy moment. Whatever. Okabe? Suddenly, her chest felt like it was about to burst from pain. She didn't know where the pain was coming from, but she wanted Rintaro to stop looking like that. That day, at the radio building, the one who killed Kurisu was... His hands were forming some kind of shape, like it was holding an invisible knife. The one who killed Kurisu was... Enough! She screamed, unable to take it anymore. She rolled out of bed, forgetting how she was dressed, and covered Rintaro's hands with her own. That's enough! Enough! You don't need to say any more. I believe you, so you don't need to tell me. Someday when the time comes, I'm going to make you tell me whether you want to or not. But that time isn't now. Until that time comes, keep your mouth shut. She strengthened her grip and forced him to let go of the invisible knife. Rintaro nodded without saying another word. They simply stared at each other for a while. Maho couldn't look away from his gaze. It was as if he was clinging to something or wandering in search of salvation. Achoo! Achoo! She sneezed. You're going to catch a cold. Yeah! And it was only then that she realized that she was holding Rintaro's hands while wearing next to nothing. Rintaro looked a little embarrassed. I'm sorry. She quickly jumped back in the blankets. She curled up into a ball and tore at her hair, screaming inside her mind. She'd let a boy see her naked not once, but twice. This time, I'm going to bed. Sorry for bothering you. You're not bothering me at all. Yeah. But never bring that up again, okay? Okay? Yeah. Thanks, Yaja. I haven't done anything that you should thank me for. Anyway, good night. Good night. No. The room got quiet again. The adrenaline rush kept Maho awake. After a while, she heard snores coming from Rintaro's direction. Evidently, he'd fallen asleep. He must have been tired. He went through the same attack that Maho had. Of course he was. His breathing wasn't peaceful at all. It was pained. He may have been in the grip of some terrible nightmare. Maho hesitated several times, but finally she turned over and stretched out her hand from the blankets. She softly touched the backside of his hand. She felt its warmth on her fingertips. What did Kurisu call you, I wonder? Okabe? Or was it Rintaro, maybe? She didn't know, but it didn't matter. Hang there, Rintaro Okabe. Is the man I fell in love with really that weak? Oh! Oh! Okay. I'm gonna describe what just happened instead of describing my emotions. After that oof, I leaned backwards to, relax against the back of my chair, and then my little earbuds, the cord is pretty short, so I leaned back and it tugged against my ear and it hurt. So, now my ears hurt in addition to my heart. She tried to think about how Kurisu would say those words, and eventually Rintaro's breathing started to become more peaceful. Relieved, she let go. Then she changed her mind and grabbed the hem of his shirt again. She felt embarrassed, as if she was a little kid, but the same time, she felt like now she might not have any more nightmares. That night, for the first time in a long while, she's dreamed of a smiling Karisu. Oh my goodness. That was so good! Oh my goodness! That was a really good stopping point, but I want to play more! You know what, I might actually, because I had that long hiatus, I think I might stop here and then record another episode so it'll be ready for you guys. So yeah, that'll be cool. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. I know I don't really get it all that much, but YouTube algorithms and like the viewing time or whatever. And if you just made it this far, thank you so much. It means a lot. I'm not sure why I'm making videos or how long I can keep making videos, or if I'm going to be able to keep up a consistent schedule in the future with all this school stuff going on. But I just want you to know that if you've seen what I do, then I really just appreciate that in and of itself. So thank you. I'm not going to try to say subscribe and like and comment and all that. You can if you want to. But honestly, just know that I'm glad that someone is watching these videos. Because otherwise, you know, what's the point? And if you didn't like this video, oh well, sorry. If you didn't like the video, leave a comment for sure, and then tell me what I can do better in the future. Because I am a YouTube noob still. So, with all of that, thank you for watching. I've been Pokey. This has been Steins Gate 0. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!